Okay, Body of Christ, my name's Tracy. I've been in deliverance ministry and prophetic counseling for the past 8 years. If that's something you're interested in, send me a message and I'll send you the link to my calendar. Today I'm going to talk about spiritual spouses and how they operate. Although spiritual spouse is not like a biblical term, we do know about the Marine Kingdom, even though it's not called that, but we know all of the demonic forces at play, essentially, if you know anything about deliverance ministry. But I want to talk about how spirit spouses work. It comes up a lot in my sessions. And it usually comes through the dreams. But if there's open doors, if there's a lot of, I guess, corn, is that the word that you can only use on here? Activity, sexual morality, it really comes through that too. But what happens is usually the spirit spouse is operating in the second heaven, okay? And then they come through your dreams, and they can marry you in your dreams. They can have you sign contracts in your dreams. You can have a wedding ring on in your dreams. Those are things that you could be living a whole double life on the other side, in the second heaven, at night, because this is what witches do too. I mean, this is where their covens are. Demonic, devil worshippers, they're all going to the second heaven at night to their coven. Okay. So you just have to understand they're astral projecting into those places, and a lot of activity happens there. So most demonic stuff happens there. So if you have a spiritual spouse there because of your sin and your open door that you gave them, that, right? They're drawing your energy to use it in that realm. Your energy now is powering that realm, okay? Powering what they want to accomplish in that realm. Because that is the objective all the time, is for them to gain power into that realm to power what they want to accomplish, okay? And you are that source. You are the power source. So that's something you need to kind of realize and open your eyes to. So they are very territorial, and they are very possessive. Once they get you, they don't want to let you go, okay? Because you are their survival, all right? They are trying to go up in the ranks in that realm because it's very competitive, and they don't like to lose, all right? And they are going to be so possessive over you. They are going to keep you from getting married. If you are married, they're going to make you not want to be married anymore to that person. I mean, they're going to literally beat you up in the spirit, okay? Until you really know what it is, and then you can deal with it. But it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be destroyed. It needs the marital contract needs to be destroyed. The rings need to be destroyed. The agreement, the covenant needs to be destroyed. And if you're frequently being intimate with someone in your dreams, that is a first sign, because you basically live a double life in that realm. You have like a whole life set up there. If you have so many open doors and you are in sin, and they are able to draw off of that. That's what's taking place. You're powering their domain, okay? And especially if there's a lot of soul ties, if you have been intimate with a lot of people outside of marriage, and there's a lot of immorality there, that gives them access and legal rights to kill, steal, and destroy. I mean, that's a very effective sin for them to operate, and that's the point. They want to use you. They want to use you to do their bidding in the second heaven. That's the point. So if that's something you're dealing with, late marriage, you want to get married, but it's just not happening, that it's very possible that that's what you're dealing with. And it needs to be dealt with. So I offer one-on-one counseling sessions. If that's something that you feel like you're dealing with, I would suggest getting a session. But first of all, start writing down your dreams. Start journaling all of your dreams. The Lord really speaks to us through our dreams, and that will give you a good indication of what you're dealing with spiritually. The Lord really likes to speak to his children through dreams. And you also need to know, what to discern in your dreams when you're dreaming of certain things. So I would recommend keeping track of that and getting a session if you feel like this pertains to you, because it really is sent to delay your life. You're basically living for them now over there, and your life on earth is not going to be doing so well. You're being diminished to replenish their power there. So that's always something you need to be aware of, especially if that's consistently happening in your dreams. You definitely want to get a session, or figure, you want to cancel those dreams. You want to just be aware, because once that covenant is made, it's a covenant, and then it can become a contract in the spirit. And if you're in agreement, if your spirit man is not strong enough to resist it in your dream life, because the spirit does not sleep. That's why they're able to use you in that realm, because the spirit doesn't need sleep. It needs rest, but it does not need sleep. Your body needs sleep, but the spirit doesn't. So the spirit is constantly under attack while you're sleeping, because your defenses are down. So that's why it's imperative to have a strong spirit man, so that you are not subject to that. And if you were, and now you're trying to walk, a better walk with the Lord, those are things, or you're really looking to settle down and find your husband or wife, those are things that need to be dealt with. They will cause so much delay, turmoil in that department. So something, and it's so prevalent, the corn, is so prevalent now, that this has become so prevalent. So it's definitely lust. The lust will get you in trouble. So I hope this blesses someone, and if that is something you're dealing with, I would definitely recommend reaching out and getting a session. Okay, thank you.